What is DNA? We all know that dogs only give birth to little dogs, elephants to elephants, chimpanzees to chimpanzees, and on for every type of living being on Earth. But how can this be? The answer lies in a molecule called deoxyribonucleic acid, or DNA, which contains the biological instructions that make each species on Earth unique. DNA, along with the instructions it contains, is passed from adult organisms to their offspring during reproduction. What does DNA do? DNA contains the instructions needed for an organism to develop, survive, and reproduce. To carry out these functions, DNA sequences must be converted into messages that can be used to produce proteins, which are the complex molecules that do most of the work in our bodies. Where is DNA found? DNA is found inside a special area of the cell called the nucleus. Because the cell is very small, and because organisms have many DNA molecules per cell, each DNA molecule must be tightly packaged. This packaged form of the DNA is called a chromosome. During DNA replication, DNA unwinds so it can be copied. At other times in the cell cycle, DNA also unwinds so that its instructions can be used to make proteins and for other biological processes. But during cell division, DNA is in its compact chromosome form to enable transfer to new cells. Researchers refer to DNA found in the cell's nucleus as nuclear DNA. An organism's complete set of nuclear DNA is called its genome. Besides the DNA located in the nucleus, humans and other complex organisms also have a small amount of DNA in cell structures known as mitochondria. Mitochondria generate the energy the cell needs to function properly. In sexual reproduction, organisms inherit half of their nuclear DNA from the male parent and half from the female parent. However, organisms inherit all of their mitochondrial DNA from the female parent. This occurs because only egg cells, not sperm cells, keep their mitochondria during fertilization. What is DNA made of? DNA is made of chemical building blocks called nucleotides. These building blocks are made of three separate parts: a phosphate group, a sugar group, and one of 4 types of nitrogen bases. To form a strand of DNA, nucleotides are linked into chains with the phosphate and sugar groups alternating. The 4 types of nitrogen bases found in nucleotides are adenine, A, thymine, T, guanine, G, and cytosine, C. The order or sequence of these bases determines what biological instructions are contained in a strand of DNA. For example, the sequence ATC-GTT might instruct for blue eyes, while ATC-GCT might instruct for brown. Each DNA sequence that contains instructions to make a protein is known as a gene. The size of a gene may vary greatly, ranging from about 1,000 bases to 1 million bases in humans. The complete DNA instruction book, or genome, for a human contains about 3 billion bases and about 20,000 genes on 23 pairs of chromosomes.